So for these videos, we're going to start talking about methods in C Sharp. Methods are just the same as a function in other languages, but they are attached to classes. So because C Sharp is a class-based language and it's all object-oriented, you don't have separate functions like you would in C++. It's much more similar to Java in that sense. So all of these programs that we've been creating, we always have this static void main method up here. And I'll probably accidentally say functions from time to time, but really there's no difference between a function and a method. Methods are attached to classes. Functions are conceptually separate from that, but they function the same way. So if you remember on this method, there's a couple of keywords here. We have static, void, main, and then we have a parameter list here. So because this is a method, methods, the type that, or the naming scheme that you're supposed to follow is you capitalize it like this. So your first character is going to be a capital letter, and then every word in there should be capitalized as well. Notice that right line is capitalized. This is also a method in the console class. Once you have that method, here is your parameter list. This only takes in one parameter. It is named args. It is a type string and it is an array. This is a void method, means it does not return anything. And the static means that you can call this method from other classes without actually having to create a new instance of the class CS methods. So that's just breaking this down again. I went over that early on in the classes, or early on in the semester, but this is just breaking down what this is. So let's go ahead and create a new method. So our method, I'm just going to, well, we already had kind of a hello world here, so I'll just create a new method to say hello. So let's go ahead and static void say hello. I don't need to give it any parameters in there. And so console.writeLine hello world. Now, so we have a new method. This is going to be grayed out because it says that say hello is never used. Fine, let's go ahead and correct that. Let me go ahead and get rid of this line here and just say hello. And notice that now this is showing that there is one usage. And if we click on that, then we can actually see where we're using this particular method. Line 9 in CS methods. And all this is going to do is when we call this method, it's going to go into this block of code here. Notice because it's static, we don't need to create anything. We don't need to create an instance of the class. Void doesn't return anything. We have no parameters. And now all this is going to do is print out hello world, exit back, and then continue executing the rest of the code. So let's go ahead and run this. And notice that now we get a hello world out to the console. And we can call this multiple times. Say hello, say hello. And notice that writer is actually going to say how many times we're using it. In fact, it will mention the line numbers and everything else, and we can click on that to go back to the individual line. So now this will actually say hello world to the screen or to the console 3 times. This is exactly the same as how you would normally do functions. The only difference is you have to add this static in front of it because you are in a class here.